everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The lion. The lion. New music, so fine. Kurt Cobain.
All right. I am Janae Strother.
I am Sean Spencer.
And this is Let's Talk Football.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, Sean Spencer, back again. One half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. You see what that is? You already see what that is. Holiday season because my Lions are getting W's. Let's go. It's Thursday. It's Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. We got a special gift for you. A special holiday episode of the
Woo! I got my holiday sweater for everyone.
And you are no. There we go.
You see it? It's Star Wars characters with Bears hats on. We got Boba Fett, Darth Vader, and a Stormtrooper. All with Chicago stuff on. So
there we go.
My holiday sweater for
He just wearing some spirit wear over here, some jingle bells.
Hey, we'll always know where to find you. Nah, listen, this guy. Where's your Barry Sanders jersey? Yeah,
there's my holiday. After Hughes decorating.
Joy.
Oh, yeah. Joy, baby. That's what we're at. Yeah, all buddy. Right. Yo, so hey, you already see my guy, Big Nick.
Hey,
my friend.
How we doing? Sorry I missed you guys last week. So, Big Nick is rearing and ready to go this week. So let's do this.
Let's get it.
Let's see what we got. See what we're doing. By the way, great. Just for the record, great job last week, guys. Anthony, Nate, and Delilah. I finally got a chance to listen to the show. You guys did phenomenal. That was great.
Thanks. It went off the rail a few times, but it's all good. Well, we have fun.
When Anthony Handy is involved, things usually go off the rails. So yeah,
there we go.
I was not surprised.
I
was not surprised.
Yo, hey, there you are, the lovely. The host of Diversity with Delilah Crespo. What's up,
Delilah? Hey, I'm so happy. It's Christmas break. Oh, my God. I'm so happy. I think teachers look forward to Christmas break more than the kids do. I don't think they realize that.
Kat just got down to her parents. That's why we were a little late, ladies and gentlemen. I was on the phone with her. Just got down to her parents in West Virginia. Got a booster first. Had to go all the way down, like 4 hours away from where we are, because there's nothing in Northern Virginia.
I get it.
And she had to go. She was able to get it in West Virginia because things are a little bit more lax over there. Nobody's rushing to get it. So she got that, and now she just right when I got off with her, just got over to her parents' house. So,
okay.
I'm glad she made it safe.
Yeah. Safe travels for everyone. Anybody traveling. Please be safe out there. People are nuts on the streets.
They are.
Be careful. Be careful, everyone.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have been doing this show for almost a year now.
Yeah.
In about 2 or 3 weeks, it will have been a year. And in those first couple months that we did the show, a guest joined the show. You might have ruffled feathers. It's close to a late night empire. My guy,
right.
I love it.
Podcast. My guy, Mr. Nathan Snell. What's up, Nathan?
What's going on? What's up,
Mr. Nate? I guarantee.
Right?
Yeah.
Mr. Guarantee.
Just stay woke, everybody. Stay woke.
Stay woke. Yes. I love that.
Nate, that's his new nickname. Nathan Stay Woke Snell. That's Nathan.
Stay woke.
That's him. Stay woke.
I like it.
Stay woke or guarantee. Those are the two lines.
Yeah.
Right. Oh man. So definitely. Hey, holiday season. We're all glad that you were able to come here and watch us and hang out and be with us. There's a lot of football going on. It's beginning to look a lot like the playoffs.
Dun, dun.
You already know what's going on.
Everywhere you go.
Right. So we have to go right ahead and dive into it. But before we can think about the playoffs, before we think about anything else, the elephant in the room.
Oh, there's an elephant in the room?
COVID-19.
Oh, that elephant. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all over the place. Yeah. It's everywhere. You've seen the impact that it's had on the league this past week. 3 separate games were changed. One moved to Monday night, 2 moved to Tuesday night because of players not even having enough players to play with COVID. Washington had to pick up daggone Garrett Gilbert, and he played for us. Gave a valiant effort, but
he tried.
He tried, yeah.
He tried.
Yeah. So
I mean, you were in the game for most of it. We
started off pretty high at 10-0, but that's don't remember flashbacks. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, flashbacks.
Then I got Dallas next.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's rough.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I think if it would have happened earlier in the season, they would have gone through and postponed games. But because you're 3 weeks away from the playoffs, I could see why the NFL changed their mind about whatever. We'll just move games around.
Again, it's all about the money. Because think about this, guys. Seriously, when they started this whole thing at the beginning of the year, it's going to be it. We're not going to be changing no games. We're not going to be doing any of that. If you guys can't field the team, that's going to be a forfeit on your end, and blah, 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 blah. And let's pound our chest and look at us. We're going to, enforce these rules. And the minute it happened, oh, no, we'll reschedule. No problem. What? Yeah. What? You crumbled faster than a gingerbread house that was made by a 3-year-old. Let me tell you, that son of a gun came down quick. So there's no structure at all. They just, okay, no, never mind. We'll just reschedule. No problem. And the thing is, you think about it, they gave the Browns 2 extra days and they still couldn't field the team.
Right.
Still couldn't, third string quarterback there, Nick Mullins, that they picked up from San Francisco. You guys had to start a guy who wasn't even on your team.
Right.
The week before.
And see,
so I mean, how crazy is that?
Major issue. It's becoming a major issue. And so, all right. So, Nathan, I'm coming to you right quick. I've heard on talk radio, we all listen to talk radio and ESPN and all those different things. And I've heard some of the guys were saying, hey, what if we did and I'm not going to do this, but what if we did a 2-week pause? There was a situation where we could just kind of get everybody back, move the playoffs and things back a week or so, just to see if we can get things back in order. Is that an option, or is it just let's weather the storm and keep moving?
I mean, personally, honestly, I think that it really should have been a pause on the games. But everyone's kind of hit the nail on the head. This is all about money. Yeah. Where they're trying to get this season finished. We all knew the risk. Everyone knew the risk when starting the season. You hate to see guys go down with COVID. I have been a strong advocate since the start of the pandemic of there needs to be a bubble system. But obviously the notion that I don't want to be away from family, I don't want to do that. It's like you got to sacrifice something because, for example, you look at a lot of teams like Washington had the most 23 cases. Baltimore's up to now 13.
Yeah,
and it's happening at the wrong time. And Steve Young has said something about they're kind of rearranging the rules so they can let asymptomatic players play. If you take a look around the league, injuries, the injury bug as well, has put a lot of holes on teams. But I wouldn't say a 2-week pause. I'd say at least a week.
A week.
Let everybody get their eggs in the basket. Let's see where everything's at. Pick it up. Because, I mean, regardless, the money's still going to always be there. But at the end of the day, this is all about the league. The league showed its true colors, and the Players Association too. Yeah, because I think the representative for the Players Association, he's office for the Browns, was like, he was fighting for players to get paid for those postponement. But I'm like, okay, you agreed to the rules about testing. It's a mess.
I get you. You're right. That's the key. It is a mess. It is a mess. But Delilah, Delilah. My thing is this: is it going to turn out that just the healthiest team, the team that does stay in a bubble, wins the Super Bowl? Because everybody's being hit by this.
Yes, it is. Because if you like, I don't know if you guys saw Joe Burrow and what he said. He's like, I live in a boring city. It made me laugh. Yeah, he's like Cincinnati's boring. He's like
You don't do anything, right?
yeah, he's like, we don't go anywhere. We're not doing anything. There's not really a nightlife, And I'm like, I guess if you think about it, if you look at the teams that really are decimated, it is like the, like the more populated cities with things to do, or where these guys live, right? Because they all live like in Miami and LA, regardless of where they play. You know what I mean? And so like, I'm like, you know what? He kind of makes a good point. And all Joe Burrow does is stay his ass home. Hey, kudos to you, Joe. You're like,
right.
I'm trying to I'm trying to win.
And I think that's an important distinction to make, because again, I understand. Again, we know these guys all get paid millions. I'm not trying to play on that, but my point is your individual commitment to your team's goal and to what you're doing. How selfish are you being? Like Joe said, I'm gonna stay my ass at home because not that there's anything to do with it, but I'm gonna stay home. And there's guys who don't want to do that. They still want to go out and do whatever they want to do. And then at the end of the day, we caught this, or they should postpone the game, or they should do this, or they should do that. But it's like at some point you have to take responsibility, like you said. I mean, and again, I know it hits everyone. My family's been hit with COVID. Sean had COVID earlier in the year. Delilah had COVID last year when it first struck. I mean, like, it's hit everybody. Like, let's be honest. But there are things you can do, especially, as a professional athlete, you have a little bit more advantage. You have the means to actually quarantine yourself, and you have the money to take care of the things you need to take care of, so you don't have to worry about going to work, as it were, that sort of thing. Like, you don't have the problems that everyday normal people have. So that's why I do think sometimes, like, yeah, I get it. You're human too, but, how selfish are you being with this sort of thing? I don't know. I'm just saying, like, again, you're an athlete, you paid millions to play a game. So, I mean, that's your business, and you were good enough to get to that level. So that's fine. But at the same time, you have to take some responsibility as well.
I agree.
For what you do.
I think also, like, if you also need, like, if you look at, if you look at the Bucks, right? Their coach is like, y'all ain't doing anything, right? He's like, you're not going nowhere. You're staying, as tightly knit as possible. So it's really like, but I agree. I think Nate said that too, right? It's if this game is if your whole point is that you want to win, and not just win, but you want to support your team and make sure that y'all don't get each other sick, right? Then I think you would abide by, hey, I'm going to try not to be in contact with a bunch of people. I'm going to try to keep, stay within my nucleus, right?
Exactly.
And make sure that I'm not spreading stuff, and it's like, it's just, you got to make a decision. I think what it's going to come down to is, it's like it's the healthiest team, because we see that happening with the NBA, and now because it's soon enough, now they're changing a lot of their protocols, right? Because the NBA, at least, is a longer season. But if you saw, like, it's spreading like wildfire, they're dealing with the same stuff. And Canada said, y'all can't come here if you're not vaccinated. What are those teams gonna do? Like, right? Because so it's like,
exactly. But that's you're exactly right. I mean,
we'll see. I think you're right, though. I think honestly, I think it's gonna come down to the healthiest team by the time the playoffs come along. Like, who is the healthiest, which is not that many teams, but I guess the healthiest, at least at where they're at.
I'll say this: the healthiest and the most disciplined. Yeah, because you guys make good points that the team, you make all this money, whatever, what have you, but you're still on a mission to get to where? To the championship, to the Super Bowl.
Right.
So you need this. That means you don't need to go out. That means you don't need to be around. You need to keep in the bubble. Yes, that's what you have to do. And the teams like the Tom Brady-led teams normally are the ones that, hey, stop. Stay in my room, be in my place at a certain amount of time. But, Nate, what were you talking about, man?
I also too think when you look at I was in a Twitter space and someone kind of made the reference. This is our junior year of COVID.
Right.
Like
right.
I get it. We all want to go back to have some sense of normalcy. Being cooped up in the house for well over a year, I get it.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes as a society, we think about ourselves and not our communities, respectively. Like when I see well over almost a high number of people that have passed away across the global community die from COVID, that's scary. And I feel like I blame the media for that, for putting one panic into people, but also two, there's no sense of, hey, we're all in this together. It's kind of like everyone's patience has more thing. Like COVID's shown a lot. And with the NFL, like the league gave these guys up until Tuesday. I'm surprised they didn't at the beginning of the season, like, hey, if you don't want to play, say something now. But I just think that we just have to just like the healthiest team. I think it is going to show towards the end of the year. So it just
it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough, and hopefully we can get this thing under control. All things considered, I think they've gotten taken care of it as best they could. But this thing is just. It is what it is, man.
So they didn't want to hardline getting vaccines, and I think that's their fault. Same thing with NBA, like they didn't hardline like other companies did. And honestly, when you're playing in a team sport where you're around people all day, every day, like that's a setting that makes sense to just have that mandate, because what they're showing is asymptomatic players, which are typically players who are vaccinated, are not spreading COVID. Right? They're not the ones that are contagious.
Right.
Because you spread COVID when you have a fever and when you're contagious. That's how it works, right? Like when you're symptomatic is how you spread COVID. Your little droplets or everything, right? And so the data is showing that's not asymptomatic individuals. It's not the players that are vaccinated. They're not the ones spreading COVID. They can catch COVID and give it to, you know what I'm saying? Like they can catch COVID and be okay. Yeah. And they're fine. But like everybody else who isn't, isn't vaccinated, they're the ones spreading COVID basically amongst each other.
Yeah.
And so I don't, regardless of what you think about vaccines, I'm like,
certain settings, it just
the excuse that some people make, like, well, I don't know what's in it. You know how much stuff you consume on a daily life?
Well, yeah,
you have no idea what the heck is in it.
Absolutely.
And you consume it without. First of all, how many people drink alcohol, which is an actual poison, right? Like, let's be honest. Like, if you think about alcohol as, it's an intoxicant because it's a poison, right? It is, and we drink it, we're having a good time. But if you actually look at what it is, what we're putting in our body, is why when we drink too much of it, we throw up, we have a hangover, right? It's like, but it's like people have no problem, like shots, but you can't, like, but whatever. Like, anyway.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about what I put in my body.
Yeah.
Right. But we'll see. I don't know, because
we gotta get this thing under control.
If we're going into, like Nate said, third year. So what happens in 2022? And we're still dealing with COVID, and I hope not. But then what? Like, seriously, like, we're going into our senior year, senior prom, dealing with the same
senior prom.
You know what I'm saying? Dealing with the same crap.
Does that mean I have to go alone again?
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, how much longer are we just gonna, like, tiptoe around it? Like, are we really gonna let this happen next year? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this really?
So we gotta get it under control. We gotta
are we really gonna do this next year when football rolls around?
It's evolving, and we're gonna figure it out, man. Hopefully,
anyway,
definitely get it down.
This didn't work. It didn't work. What they tried to be more They tried to give people choices, right? Like, if you don't want to get vaccinated, then stay in a bubble, right? They gave them guidelines, like, fine, you don't want to get vaccinated, then you got to do this type of stuff, right? And so they tried to find a balance, and it didn't work. And now it's like it exploded, right? Now everybody's either injured from regular injuries, like Nate said, or people are on COVID protocol, and it's like, it's like, I don't know, but I hope that there's a better plan, because look at what's happening to college, right? You saw Anthony Handy posted how they're not going to postpone it anymore. They're like, well, if you get sick and that's it, you forfeit. Can you think about that, right?
Texas A&M is not playing in their bowl game because of COVID.
So that's what they're saying. They're not even gonna. Right. So the NCAA, like in college, they're like, nope, you forfeit. So you don't even get to play. You don't even get to.
And that's not fair on the players.
And so, and that's it. And that's basically what they're saying. That the person automatically moves on, right? Like, if, let's say, one team has to forfeit, then that team they're supposed to play, they have to wait, right? Wait for the other two teams. Yeah, see, like Anthony said, yeah. So, so I don't know. I mean, something, if college is being more strict about this, like, what are we doing as the NFL supposed to be the model, right? It's like, you're supposed to be the model for these kids. So, like, what are you doing, NFL? Figure it out. It's not working. It's not working.
You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. It is not working.
Figure it out. Anyway. Yeah. Moving on.
Moving on.
Okay. Thank you.
Keep on trucking, baby.
So
keep on trucking, baby.
Keep on, right. Yeah.
Keep on trucking, baby.
Another thing that we have to talk about. I mean, hey, it's getting late in the season, and hey, that MVP race. I think that's pretty major. This is a year that I can possibly see somebody that's not a quarterback getting the MVP, but obviously that's far fetched. You know what I mean? What do you think, man?
Man, I'll tell you what I think, man. No, but see, that's the problem with this whole thing. Here's what I always have a problem with: what MVP means. Most valuable player, right? Now, let's break that down just for a moment. On any given team, everybody has an MVP. Every team has a most valuable player to that team, right? So you're looking at an entire league that you're trying to say there's the one guy who that basically is his team was without, they would not be where they are, or they would not be as good as they are. I mean, I think we can all agree on that, right? That's what an MVP is supposed to be. Now, let's look at what it really is. It is kind of a popularity contest at times. It's generally a quarterback award. Right? A quarterback has a great year. You're like, oh, there's your MVP. This guy was spectacular. Yada, 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 yada. Okay. But when I look around the league this year and I look at the quarterbacks, even the good ones, everybody has had a bad game or two. Right. Everybody has had an off week. Everybody has had their share of getting sacked and no, drop balls, whatever. So then you look and go, well, wait a minute. Let's look at the people who are producing for their teams. Oh, I can, again, off the top of my head, the big two, and I think we all agree, are Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Kupp. Like, if it wasn't for those two dudes, their teams, who knows where their teams would be? Like, honestly, because the Rams have been inconsistent. Right. When you got a guy who gets 10 to 12 targets and 10 receptions a game, 100 to 200 yards, literally a game this guy gets, anywhere in between, a touchdown or two at least. I mean, look at it. He leads in receptions right now.
Everything.
Yards, receptions, and touchdowns, right?
Absolutely.
On a record pace. He's on a record pace.
He is on a record pace.
Like, how do you ignore that and go, this guy should, I don't know, he's a receiver. I don't know. He's not a quarterback. So blah, blah, blah,
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
The same thing with Jonathan Taylor. We were arguing back and forth the other day on the group chat, and I wanted to smack all three of them who are, I love you guys. I'm not going to really smack you, but it was just like they kept like repeating the argument. It's like, well, yeah, I'm sorry that Derrick Henry got hurt, but that has nothing to do with the year that Jonathan Taylor's having. Like, it's not his fault Derrick Henry got hurt. Like, he just kept on going. Like, he just kept playing. And guess what? Now he's in a position where he could get at least 20 touchdowns, can rush for 17 or 1,800 yards in the year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy's a machine. What do he's just doing him. Like, he's just playing his game and doing his thing. There's no reason to compare him to anybody else or say that he's only in that position because, Derrick Henry got hurt because he was on a record pace. And then he got, hey, sorry.
Even if Derrick Henry got hurt, he'd still be doing the same thing. Derrick Henry and him, there's no way they.
Exactly. That was my point. This is what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter. And Jonathan Taylor's like going, well, then Derrick Henry got hurt. Now it's my turn. No, you just keep playing. That's the way it goes. This is the NFL.
But the only reason we notice Jonathan Taylor is because Derrick Henry is hurt. I will say that. And the reason being is because Derrick Henry is the flashier choice.
Sure, maybe.
Let's be honest. Hey, Nate, hold up. Do you disagree with that? Is that what the face is? Oh, okay.
No, because I'm just curious because I agree with what he's saying. I got what I was saying in the chat was the 3 seasons what Derrick Henry has done. We can make an argument no running back of this modern era football will do what he has to do. It really has taken him 3 years to get his respect. Like, here's Jonathan Taylor, no disrespect, great running back, and it's like MVP. And I'm like, but here's a guy that I still think he could break the record, Derrick Henry. But we're seeing he's practically the offense in Tennessee. Compared to and
now look, so now that goes back to the quarterback thing. A year ago, because we talked about this before, and a year ago, the quarterback was the main thing. Aaron Rodgers had an out of this world year, right? And so then it just kind of because they want it to be a quarterback. Let's be honest with this right here.
Yeah,
they want it to be the pre-boy quarterback. He's the head of the franchise. We always say he takes the lion's share of the stuff. That's what they want. This year, there's no like Nick said, there's no quarterback that is.
Quarterback. But I mean, there have been instances where not even that of this season. We can go like Randy Moss should have been considered for an MVP. I think he had like 20 something touchdowns one year when he was in New England with TB12.
Yeah. But then it's like TB12 had 20. He had how many more touchdowns? And they give it to TB12.
I think that's the thing that we're missing too, is that there have been years where the quarterbacks have been outstanding. And so, maybe you can give them a little bit more love and a little bit more play. And yes, there's still good receivers who have had great years, but they've gone up against quarterbacks who had better years.
Now,
so that's the problem with that sort of thing when the quarterback is held to that sort of stature and position. If they exceed that, then you go, well, that guy had a phenomenal year. Look at that. He exceeded what we thought he was going to do.
No, for sure. Like last year, actually, Derrick Henry really
But he doesn't throw the ball to himself. That's what I would say.
Right. He was in the running, though, for MVP last year. Remember? Like, they actually talked about it, but he didn't make it even, and they gave it to Aaron Rodgers. We all know that, right? But he was, like, last year, everybody was like, okay, like, Derrick Henry should be mentioned, right, in the MVP race, but they never – but they don't give it to running backs or wide receivers, right? We just talked about that. It's just a wide receiver has never won, first of all, like ever. Which I think is crazy when I think about that kind of stuff. Because I'm like, wait, Megatron never won?
Sure.
Like when I think about that, I was like,
Chris
wait.
Carter never won an MVP award.
And Megatron, like, right? You're like, what?
Right.
And Cup might be, Megatron's best season, right? Like they're saying he's on pace to probably break his record this weekend.
Yeah. As long as he stays healthy, as long as Ablo's
of course,
as long as he stays healthy.
Well, if he hits, he could get 100. We know 100 yards easy, right? I think it was only like once or twice where he got below 100.
Right.
But it's not often. He's not been shut down.
I don't. Is that true? I thought he pretty much just had 100 yards every game.
There was that one game where he
There was one game where he was below 100.
Yeah. But like I said, but we're talking about like one game like forever ago.
Yeah, I know. One game out of 14, right?
But yeah, I think he should be mentioned. I agree with Anthony. I think Cup deserves it, but give it to a wide receiver. I don't know. I know that they do co-MVP sometimes, so I guess it's possible that they split it.
Well,
You know,
May I
give
ask
one.
my fellow panelists this question? Okay. Way to go, RuPaul. But no, let me
Cooper Kupp has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games under 100, but
he has that 5.
4 of those games were within like 4 yards, like 96.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was crazy.
96,
Yeah.
okay.
You know what I mean?
And I bet he had at least a touchdown or 2 in each.
Yeah. All except 5, I think 5, all except those 5 games.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, only 5 games that he has not had a touchdown. Only 5 games he hasn't had over 100 yards.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And one game he's been under 75. So
that may be enough for some people to go, well, he's not that great. He didn't have 100 yards. Even 500 games, he was under 100. And that's the kind of argument you go, look, man, you got to look at the whole body of work. There's 17 games in a season. If you're only going to take 8 of them, then that's you know what I mean? No, I'm serious.
No, I agree.
It's like you have to take the entire season. You have to take the whole body of work into consideration, and it's like
for a wide receiver, the issue with the wide receiver is always going to be that he's quarterback dependent. So, but for somebody like a Deebo Samuel, if a Deebo Samuel had Cooper Kupp's wide receiver numbers, and then also having the running yards that he has, that could I think that it's kind of like a Charles Woodson getting the Heisman. He's considered the first defensive player to get it, but it was because he did return yards.
Kick returns, exactly.
He did everything. You know what I mean? So we got to look at it like that. But look, we have got to. Oh, real quick, I'm gonna go around the board. Everybody today, who is your MVP? I will start, and I'm gonna say what we've talked about. I know it's far fetched. I know it's crazy, but co-MVPs: Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp. I know you talked, but I agree. I think that's what those two. I think have been outside of the stratosphere good and for their teams. So that's where I stand. What do you got, Nathan?
Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Kupp.
Wow, I'm with it.
Guarantee.
I like it.
Guarantee.
Delilah, what you got?
Oh, sorry, I'm laughing because Anthony was making a good comment, and also guarantee. But I agree. It's got to be Kupp and Taylor, or at least Kupp for sure. Let's make it happen, okay? Listen, I don't know what else a wide receiver needs to do. NFL, come on. They need 3,000 yards. What do they need? 3,000, 50 touchdowns. What? Anyway, I'm with Kupp in first place, and then if Jonathan Taylor wins it, I won't hate on that either.
Yeah. Now, look, I will say to this comment, Anthony, man, if you look back at some of the co-MVPs, I know one year it was Brett Favre and Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
If the 2 seasons are just that amazing in themselves, you got to give it due. You know what I mean? I'll give Brett his due, but Barry, come on, baby, you got to give him due. So I don't think if there's 2, I like that. And this year, Jonathan Taylor for the Colts is the Colts. I mean, we talk about other parts of the team, but he is the Colts. And I think the same with Cooper Kupp.
I agree.
Because Stafford has had some interesting games.
Yeah.
Nick, what do you think, man?
Well, I'm going to be honest. Just given history and given the way that some of these things go, I would probably give the edge to the running back over the receiver if you were going to give it to a non-quarterback.
Right.
So I figure if Taylor can hit 20 touchdowns, get close to 2,000 yards, and his team makes the playoffs, I say Jonathan Taylor's a front runner.
Mm-hmm.
Just me, though.
I like it.
Yeah, because they have awarded it to running backs before. You're right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, like you said, a receiver's never won one, and for whatever reason that bias is, I don't know. But, no, I mean, seriously, there have been some great
quarterback
receivers,
dependency. The fact that you need depends on your QB.
And yet,
the quarterback needs somebody. Like I said, the quarterback's got to throw to somebody, and they got to catch the ball for him.
Here's what's interesting.
You don't get 5,000 passing yards thrown to yourself.
I've been lucky, but I've been lucky that I have Stafford and Kupp in one of my league, right?
Stacking them up.
Well, that's why you were 12-1 or something.
Basically. But if you look at their numbers, even when Matthew Stafford messed up, Kupp did better. I can't tell you how many times It wouldn't happen often, but whenever Matthew Stafford would come in under 20 points, Cup did not.
Well, yeah, well, that's because you get a point per reception.
No,
Even
but
if
he
you get
also,
8 catches,
but what I would read too is because if he did just catch it, he would run for like another, like he would. That's what I'm saying. So even when he would catch it, he would still go and add like another 20 or 30 or 40 yards. That's all him. That had nothing to do with Stafford. That was him taking it. And like,
that also, though.
That's so crazy.
Gets credit for that.
That's so crazy to me.
We all know it's popularity contest. We all know the wide receiver has as much chance as a defensive player to get it.
But do you know who I think they will give it to? They're gonna give it to Aaron Rodgers again.
Aaron Rodgers.
I know, and I say that they should.
Whatever.
I'm saying that that's where it's gonna lean towards because they'll be like,
so are we 100% off Tom Brady after the Saints game? Do we? Because he has the best numbers in the league.
No,
he
I
has
know
the best numbers, but we've said it before. Quarterbacks, they're going to get all the praise and they're going to get all the glory. Like Tom Brady didn't have a bad game. When you take the fact that you lose you lost 2 wide receivers, your tight end had a case of butterfingers,
right?
You lost a running back, another wide receiver that's faking information out here. I mean, Tom Brady, like for the most part, has done his part. It's the others that got to step it up.
No, I agree. But I think what happened is they're gonna. What I've been all the rumblings I see from all the sportscasters, as you can see, is like, oh, look at how great he's playing with his turf toe, or whatever the hell is going on. It's like, oh, they've won like 7 straight games. They clinched already before every other team, and I know that that's taking precedent over everything else. That's what I'm trying to say. Like that kind of.
I get you.
That kind of mentality is what's taking over the MVP conversation. Not just the numbers, but that's what they're looking at is grit. It's like, oh, he broke this and blah, blah. Look, he's back. And they won 7 straight games and et cetera, et cetera. I know that's what they're – and that's why I'm saying –
And also the story around it. You know what I mean? The story last year, was this guy's trying to do it. He's trying to get – and this year, it's like the last dance. Whoop, calm down. I just
no. I know what you're saying. I'm not Nick. I'm not Nick.
I was talking to Nick. But I mean, it is that. It is the story. This is his last thing. Him and Devontae, and he. You know what I mean? So
that's what I'm saying.
Play into do you guys? Does that play into it? Because
that's also too like the media.
I'm sorry, Nick. Come on, man.
But you also had in this.
I can't, man. I can't do it.
Wow.
You know what Tom Brady though has in his favor, though? Like in all seriousness, Tom Brady has one thing going for him. He's 44 years old, doing what he's doing. And so people will look at that and go, hey, man, look at this guy at 44 still playing at a very high level.
Yeah.
And again, whether you like Tom Brady or not, you do have to give him credit for that.
No, I know,
he is
but
a 44-year-old man getting beat around every week.
I agree 100%. But like I said, from what I've seen, as if you hear and put your ear to the ground and you read all the like papers and you listen,
I'd like to put his ear to the ground.
The edge has gone to Aaron Rodgers over Tom Brady. Isn't that it's not that he's not out of the race.
Yeah.
No, I know.
I'm not saying I agree. I think it should go to Cup.
No, I know.
But I'm saying that's just what
that's what the pundits are saying.
Well, it's okay. Like again, I'm not worried because I'll let everybody get worked up. I'll let Aaron Rodgers, make the playoffs and just wait for the championship game when he blows it and goes 1-5. Then I'll have my revenge. I don't care.
Oh my goodness!
No, if you feel that bad,
I'm not worried, folks. They'll blow it in the end like Rodgers always does. I don't care.
Oh no!
If I do this to you, Nick. If I bring this man behind your head, are you gonna feel bad about that?
Whatever.
Discount double check. We have got Nate. You have something to say?
Yeah, Nate.
Like when we look at when we look back at who gets the award, you're gonna have those in the media that are gonna sit there and say, "Oh, I think they should have gotten this award." But if you really watch the games, let's call it because people just want to just give their opinion, which is fine.
Of course.
If you look at it.
Like we're doing,
No, right? It's like watching the game
every week.
Like you're seeing what guy like you may not see another season like what Cooper Kupp's doing,
Right.
or what Jonathan Taylor's doing.
Right.
You may not see that. Like it's like one in a billion where you may not see somebody put up astronomical numbers.
Right.
Like let's appreciate the greatness. Like just
Right.
because,
Oh sure.
like just because, it bothers me when I hear guys on TV that sit there and kind of kiss some of these athletes' ass, like, oh yeah, no, he's a great player because, well, you know, if he's not there, what does he have here? Aaron Rodgers, he hasn't had a first round pick, a wide receiver, in X, Y, and Z. Like, no. Appreciate the greatness.
Okay, I get you.
Yo, we got to move on. You got people swinging their arms and hitting plants, and Nick is turning cameras on. Look, all right, we got to go, man. It's the holiday season, y'all. Dang on. All right, let's go, yo. And one of the most exciting and most celebrated segments in entertainment today. All right, yeah, I'm bringing a
celebrating it. Yeah.
A Merry Christmas spin to it.
I like it.
My girl is doing her thing.
My girl.
With Delilah.
I just had to put happy holidays, you know.
Candy.
It depends what kind of candy it is. I'm picky.
Hey, this is let's see, we got almond bark with peanuts and pretzels for my own.
Hey,
Merry Christmas to all of you.
All right.
Delilah, what you got today?
It sounds Christmassy. Anyway, so all right. So Jennifer King actually talked about her, like, I think a couple of months ago, because she's like, you know, she was the second female coach that was hired by the NFL to coach in a regular season, and the first Black woman to get that position. Now on Tuesday, which, as you know, Sean said, wasn't a happy, kind of, unfortunately, not a good game for Washington football team. However, Jennifer King, something cool that happened is that she became the first Black woman in NFL history to actually lead in a coaching position. So what happened is that she actually became the lead running backs coach. She's actually the assistant running backs coach full time. And because of COVID protocol, Randy Jordan, who is the usual lead running backs coach, had to stay home and follow COVID protocols. And so Jennifer King stepped in and became the lead running backs coach during that game. And so, you know, some positive coming out. I know we keep talking about like all the awful stuff going on, like COVID and injuries and things like that. But I think it's great, you know, that she was able to kind of fill that role. And so hopefully, I hope there's more to come for Jennifer King. I hope she gets more experience, you know, and I hope that she gets a full-time lead coaching position in her future.
Yes.
Like, seriously, ma'am. Like, I hope that you don't stay an assistant forever. You've earned it. As I said when I talked about her before, about her bio, she played football in college. You know, she played in a female football team as a quarterback, you know, and she was like she made like All-American in the women's league. And so she knows what she's talking about, right? Which, unfortunately, when it comes to women, we always have to kind of prove that we know what we're talking about, what we're doing. But she put the work in. She played football. And so I think that I hope that more good stuff comes her way. Jennifer King, I hope you get a full-time lead coaching position in your future. So kudos to you. Congratulations stepping in and taking over. And, hey, hopefully more to come.
Yes.
I like it.
And one of the only positive things that happened
on Tuesday.
Jennifer King. And you know what? The thing I like the best is that she was interviewed before the game. And they were saying, you know, how do you feel? You know, you're the first.
I love it.
To do this and this and that. And she said, you know, this is groundbreaking, man. I really like this. But the running backs will be ready. They're going to be right back to football. And that's the thing. You know, this is
exactly.
Not glad you. Let's definitely notify everybody. But she's still a coach.
Exactly.
About that, and that's 100%.
And I like that too.
I absolutely love that. So, as we said, thank you, Delilah, for that. as we have talked about all throughout the show, everything is pointing to one time of the year, ladies and gentlemen, where it is obvious that we need
playoffs.
Some of us are in, some of us are out, some of us are out. Me, I'm out. I think we're out because
Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
I just hope we can win a game.
Me too.
Definitely saying that.
Yes, they are.
I love that video. That's the video. That's the video we were missing last week.
Playoffs.
All right.
Let me move this way. There you go.
Do.
That part. All right. Pull that one out.
All right, here we go. Let me get the glasses on so I can see here. What are we looking at? All right.
This is the current playoff picture right now. We have the Packers in the NFC as the number 1 seed was at 11-3. We have Dallas in the number 2 seed at 10-4. Buccaneers at the 3 seed at 10-4, and the Cardinals at the 4 seed also at 10-4. Also, the Rams are 10-4, and the 5 seed. San Francisco 8-6 in the 6th
playing
seed
tonight,
barely hanging on. Oh, they're winning. Are they?
Yeah, there's 10-0 currently.
Okay.
49ers are ahead of Tennessee, 10-0 at halftime.
That's disgusting. I see that.
And
the Vikings holding on by a thread are there. This is that time of the year. This is what we've been talking about. And as far as the NFC is going, we can talk about AFC in a minute. The NFC, you have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams that are kind of head and shoulders above everybody.
Exactly.
At 10-4, Packers at 11-3, and they're kind of trying to secure. Everybody's fighting for that number 1 spot. Everybody's doing that. But then you look at that other side, and you look at San Francisco, which I think is kind of pulling away a little bit. Hopefully they get the W today. But then the Vikes are 7-7, and then you come down here, Philadelphia, New Orleans, my guys. Atlanta somehow still in there. Carolina and Seattle basically out, but I mean they need a whole bunch of miracles. Nick, I'll start with you. Man. What do you think about this? We talked about this the last couple of weeks, man. What do you think? Do you think this is set the way it is, or is it going to change up? Or
I definitely think the top 5 we know are set. Those 5 will get in. Yeah. I don't think that's a question at this point. Now, the 49ers obviously have to win tonight to keep that 6th spot in their pocket. Yeah. Because you don't want to go. You're 8-6. You don't want to go 8-7. You'd rather be 9-6. You know what I mean? Going into the last 2 weeks of the season.
Right.
So, I would say that's probably a good bet that San Francisco could keep that 6th spot, but I don't see Minnesota hanging on to the 7th spot. I'll be honest. I know they're 7-7. They're right there at the cusp of the whole thing. But as you said, a couple of these other teams that play each other. And then here's my thing. And I know people are going to beat on me for this because now they're going to call me a homer and all this stuff. But the Bears still have one more game with the Vikings. And I think the Bears, hopefully by that time, will realize that they just need to go out and play because they're not playing for anything else but pride, even though I know that doesn't seem like we have any. But playing spoiler, right? I mean, that's always fun to do. And again, it's a division rival. You embarrassed yourself in that game to begin with. So there's always room to want to make a better showing the next time. Yeah. Even though, but again, Bears are officially eliminated. I know I'm not trying to get any kind of playoff scenario. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
But I'm simply saying that what I'm saying is I think Minnesota will not make the playoffs is what I'm trying to say.
No, I agree.
They're the weakest link of that group, and I think that they will eventually. They're in it for now, but I do think they will fall, especially if they're playing the Rams. If I'm looking at that correctly, what does that say?
Yeah, they got the Rams. They got the Rams coming up.
Rams and then the Bears again.
So, Nick, so you got Philly, New Orleans, obviously Washington, and Atlanta. Who do you think will take their place?
And I know that you're going to be surprised when I say this.
Not us, Nick.
I go with the Eagles. I got to go with Jalen Hurts and the boys.
Yeah, I agree.
They've been playing well. I mean, what do you do there? And they got the weaker to schedule. They're playing the Giants, without Daniel Jones, who was put on the shelf for the rest of the year. So what are you going to get? A Mike Glennon or a who else is on that Giants team? Like
Jake
Philadelphia.
Fromm.
Jake from State Farm.
Jake Fromm. No. Is it Jake Fromm? Is that who it is?
No, Jake. It is Jake Fromm.
Jake Fromm. Yes, it's Jake Fromm.
Jake from State Farm is going to be quarterback. Exactly. So you might as well put the guy in who does the State Farm commercials. He's just as good as Jake Fromm. But my point is, I really like Philly in this spot to grab that 7th seed or even the 6th one. They've got a couple weeks left and they've got a favorable schedule. So, I mean, right now, they're playing well enough. People are still bagging on Jalen Hurts, but, they finally let him, they gave him the team essentially.
Yeah.
And you can't say he's done horribly. They're
right
in the thick of it, and he's poised if they can get these last few victories here with this schedule to get that 6th or 7th spot. So
Nick, I agree. I absolutely agree with that because of the other teams on this list, and Delilah, I'm coming to you. When you look at the Saints, when you look at Washington, you look at Atlanta, they all have, for the most part, been more disappointing than than something you want to bet on. You know what I mean? So Philly is the only one where you kind of know an identity. We talked about that all year. Philly is a running team. Whether you like, Jalen Hurts and what he does in the passing game, hey, that's on you. But they put up 238 against us alone. Okay? Jalen Hurts had, 3 total touchdowns. So they can move the ball, and they're playing. I know they play the Giants again, and I know they got to play us again. Yep. So it's a favorable schedule as opposed to the Vikings who got to play the Packers once more. They got
the Rams.
You know what I mean? So, Delilah, but what do you think, man? Do you think Philly's the one that's going to get in, or do you think Vikes, or what do you think?
With 3 games left, I think the thing is that I like the Rams, but they've dropped a few games, right? We've seen it. So I could still see Minnesota keeping that 7th spot only by sheer will and just because with just the 3 weeks left. Yeah, I know, but I've seen them beat.
I'm sorry.
I know, but I've seen them beat teams that everybody says, oh, they can't beat them. That's all I meant is like I've seen them win against teams that they shouldn't and lose to teams that they shouldn't either. So I think it's possible for Minnesota to keep the 7th spot. Now I wouldn't. It doesn't mean that Philly can't sneak in there, but I feel comfortable with the 7. Like unless something awful happens in the next 3 weeks, I feel like these are the 7 teams going into the playoffs.
Okay.
All right.
Nice. Nate.
The Minnesota Vikings will not make the playoffs.
Ooh.
See what I'm saying? See, that's his thing.
Who's taking their spot though? Philly, New Orleans, Washington, or Atlanta?
I think the Philadelphia Eagles will make. I believe the Philadelphia Eagles will make the playoffs.
Okay.
Ooh, look at Nate and Nick agree on something.
I just don't. The Saints offensively with Alvin Kamara and Simeon, I don't think the offense is sustainable without Michael Thomas, Callaway. Like they're just not consistent. The Saints have not shown me.
Yeah,
it's actually their offense is very offensive. You think about it.
I agree.
But I'm not going to sleep on that Philly, Miles Sanders, and Jalen Hurts. Atlanta, though,
Jalen Reagor.
I got to give the Atlanta Falcons some credit. Like Cordero Patterson, who should have been a Pro Bowler, he's definitely played a part. Kyle Pitts, they've actually got some pieces.
Hey, do you have Cordero Patterson on your fantasy team?
I sure do.
That's why they love.
I mean, he's been it's true though. He's been eating yards, so it's not.
Yeah, that guy's been eating everything.
With the Minnesota Vikings, I just don't.
Philly's gonna get embarrassed in the playoffs. Okay, wow.
Yes, but at least they'll make them. You can get embarrassed, but hey, you make them, and that's what counts, right?
I don't know.
Well, but that's another thing though, because I look at Washington, And right now, I'm like, do we want to push for the playoffs? Because the thing is, if we don't make the playoffs, we made the playoffs last year and we ended up at 19. Okay?
Correct.
We
Yes,
didn't
you
get
did.
Michael Parsons. We didn't get, even Xavier Collins. We didn't get the guys to win. We had to wait and get. Jamin Davis is doing okay, but he's taking a little while to learn the system.
Right.
My thing is
But
this:
also,
we're not gonna. If we make the playoffs right now, real quick, I'll go to you, Nathan. If we make the playoffs right now,
Yes.
we're not gonna go in there and shock the world.
Nope.
I don't even think. I think the team that played in the playoffs last year for Washington could beat the team that this year.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Guaranteed.
Right.
Yeah.
We're ready. So I honestly think the best thing to do, I still want to win and play. Obviously, I'm a fan. I'm still going to die on this.
Oh, sure. Of course, brother. Of course.
But at the same time, I'm kind of like, look, right now, we're the 10th pick in the draft. Go ahead and I ain't saying tank, but let's think about the long game here.
A long game.
Figure this thing out. Let's figure the quarterback situation. And I mean, if we're gonna look for other people or stick where we're at, let's get all of our running backs healthy, get our line, get some depth. Because that's the problem we're having right now. There's no depth. You know what I mean? And we're getting exposed with injuries that we already had, and with COVID now, obviously ravaging our team. Depth is becoming a major issue. You know what I mean? So I'm almost like, I don't know. I'm not in the front office. Nathan, what were you talking about, man?
Well, I wasn't expecting Michael Parsons to go in the top 10. Everybody talked about his off the field stuff and different things like that. We all projected him to be mid first round, but also too, like I understand what you're saying. I'd rather play it safe, get the draft pick, build for the future, take it from there.
Yeah,
I agree.
True. Unless you're the Bears who have no first round picks.
I ain't got 2 first round picks, so I'm kind of like,
So do the Jets. So do the Dolphins. So do a ton of other teams.
So now we're gonna go over to the AFC, and Delilah, I'm gonna come to you first. Give me 1 second. Can we see each other? Yeah, we're all set. Okay. So in the AFC, the number 1 seed, they were counted out 6-7 weeks ago. Now they are on the top of the AFC. They're 10-4. The number 2 seed, the Kansas City Chiefs, 10-4. The number 2 seed is the New England Patriots, who are 9-5, and they've been doing pretty well. But be careful, because with just 1 or 2 losses, they can slip and they can fall. Tennessee Titans, we saw what happened to them. They stomped on the Steelers logo, and then they got stomped on. And then and
they're currently getting beat now. So
watch out. The number 4 seed is the Bengals, who are going up against the Ravens. This is going to be interesting.
Quote the Ravens evermore.
Hey, can we move on from Lamar? No, I'm sorry, Jacob.
Can we move on from Lamar?
No.
Hey,
you
still
got
there goes. Nate turned his camera off.
Right.
You triggered Nate. You said Lamar Jackson. That's it.
No, the 5 seed, the team I've been talking about all year long. I absolutely love it. Now, we've all talked about Jonathan Taylor, the running game. But like you said, Nick, they only go as far as their quarterback. So we're gonna see.
I'm still, man.
At 8-6, we're gonna see.
They still scare me. I don't know.
I know. I agree. The Chargers with our guy Justin Herbert also at 8-6, a 6 seed, and what is probably the most disappointing team, Delilah, Buffalo Bills. I think we all thought that they were going to be at least a 1 or a 2 seed. At this time of the year. What do you think? Like, this is
I wouldn't be surprised if they lose their spot. Honestly, I would not be surprised if they miss the playoffs completely. And because who's in 8th? Because the AFC is more messed up than the NFC, because there's like 10 teams like it tied right with like the same record. Is that kind of crazy?
Seems like it, right?
And so like or at least it feels like it, right? So I feel like any of those like inner running teams could easily overtake the Bill spot, right? Like honestly, like
it is right here. So Baltimore, Pittsburgh both have 6 losses, just like Buffalo. Las Vegas, Miami, Cleveland, and Denver all have 7 losses. So
and so
that's disgusting.
I could definitely see one of those teams, like either Baltimore sneaking in with the 7th spot somehow, or even Pittsburgh, which I know will make Sydney happy because he's been saying, they'll make playoffs. And so I could definitely see one of those two teams just taking that 7th spot. I think right now, I think the Chargers are comfortable. I don't see them falling out. They're going to make playoffs. Herbert's on a roll. I think that the Colts will also stay there. So, yeah, I agree, Ash. But I think really, I can easily see the Bills slip out is what I'm saying. I think that they might miss the playoffs. I think they shot themselves in the foot. And they just couldn't get that momentum back. The momentum they had in the beginning where they were just boom, boom, right? Right. And they just lost it and just petered out, and they don't know how to get that back, right? They don't know how to bring that winning mentality back. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they slip out.
I can see
right?
it.
I
can definitely see that. So Nick, I already talked to Nathan. I'm gonna come back to you after this, Nathan, though. But Nick,
yeah,
I mean, look at that. Like Delilah was talking about, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Chargers, Buffalo, Baltimore.
Oh man, I know it's such a clog.
Yeah.
And again,
the 2 seed and the 12 seed are only 2 games apart.
And this is what kills me about this whole division, right? And this is why I say, as much as I love, like I said, I love what Jonathan Taylor's doing, but Indianapolis still finds itself, even at that 5 seed. You're playing Arizona this week.
Mm-hmm.
You lose that game, you're down to 7 losses. And then
wait, Nick, who did Arizona lose to this week?
The Detroit Lions. But
let's get it.
Right.
Let's go.
Right. So don't tell me that Cliff Kingsbury and all his ego and everything is not going to be fired up this week in practice going, we're not going to have that happen again.
Right.
It's one thing to get embarrassed, but when you lose to the Lions like that, that's embarrassing, my friend. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't see the Cardinals lying down for that one, especially on a game that they need to prove again that they're still one of the elite teams in the AFC. And again, the Colts will go as far. Yes, Jonathan Taylor is. Oh, and think about it. That game was close until Jonathan Taylor. I mean, if they stop them on that 3rd down and 8, instead of letting him run for a 57-yard touchdown, that's a different game. So, yeah, Jonathan Taylor was a difference in that game for sure. But again, the Colts are always in close games, and I just don't try. I mean, I'm trying hard to every week to be more positive on Indianapolis, but I just can't do it. Carson Wentz to me is just not.
But the point is, will they make playoffs though? It's not that they're gonna win out.
No, but I don't think they are. That's what I'm saying, Delilah. Is I try to find the positive with Indianapolis.
They're really in 3 weeks. They're gonna drop three spaces.
They could drop 3 spots in this next week if they lose to Arizona, depending on who wins in the other games, honey. That's what I'm saying.
But who do you think? So who do you think they're going? Because they got
honestly
Arizona. Arizona, the Raiders, and the Jaguars.
Okay, now here obviously the Jags is probably a win, right? Automatic.
Right. Absolutely.
Depending on which Vegas team shows up that week, who knows?
I can see that.
Again, this is the important one. I will say this. I will say this. I will take back everything I've said all year. If Indianapolis beats Arizona this week and goes 9-6, I think they'll make the playoffs with that. Then having to play the Vegas and then the Jaguars. But if you lose to Arizona and go 8-7, then you have to go to Vegas, and Vegas is still fighting themselves. They're playing Denver this week, which is a winnable game for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why I say I think this is really the important game for Indianapolis to really secure a playoff spot. Mm-hmm. But I think if they lose to Arizona, go 8-7, and then have to go play Vegas, that game could go either way. And if you're looking at 8-8 going into the last week, you know what I mean? Here's something to think
about. The Colts have the tiebreaker over Buffalo, Los Angeles, and Baltimore based on the base winning percentage in the conference.
Right, yeah.
So they have the advantage over. So, look, like you said.
If they win.
Well, if they win, but also Buffalo has to win. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, agreed.
Other teams, everybody, a lot of teams are playing each other, so this is all going to cancel out. And so that's a great point, Nick. But Nathan, what do you think? Like, where you at, man?
The Indianapolis Colts are going to make the playoffs.
Oh, my goodness.
I agree. I agree.
Okay, Mr. Guarantee.
Okay,
why they
RuPaul.
gonna make the playoffs,
The Baltimore
Tell me that
Ravens
doesn't
are
sound
not,
like RuPaul. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
the Ravens are not going to make the playoffs.
Boom.
Like shout out to you, Sean. You were on my show earlier. I after we got off the show, I sat back and I had to be realistic. Like there's a lot of holes. Same like Washington.
Yeah.
It's ugly. I mean, like the ship is she's literally just taking on water, and we gotta steer back to port. I'd rather play for the draft pick, and the way it's looked this year, it's a fail. I'd rather play it safe. The Buffalo Bills are not going to make the playoffs.
Oh wow.
I think. Can you scroll down? I think the Cincinnati Bengals. No, they're fine. The Miami Dolphins are going to make the playoffs.
Oh.
Okay.
You think they're gonna win out and get that 7th spot? Okay.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Bobby Wills is crying right now because you
know.
said that.
Over the
Tears of
Steelers.
joy.
The Steelers have to. The Steelers play Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't think
that's
they'll
tough.
win that. I don't think they'll win that game.
Even with players out, because isn't that what I heard?
Don't count. I'm not counting out Patrick Mahomes and
No,
you
but
got
look.
Pringle, Mecole Hardman,
So
Heisler.
Miami has the Saints this week, and Ian Book is starting at quarterback for the Saints.
Right, Ian Book.
Then they have the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
And then they have the Patriots. So if they win out,
It's possible.
it's possible, but
Not likely.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
and then also too, I think Pittsburgh plays Cincinnati again
Yeah.
after Kansas City, and then they play us.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way.
you guys are knocking each other out. All you guys are just.
That's what it is. They're all going to cancel each other out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And it's going to come down to what Ash said, which is that tie is what's going to haunt the Steelers. I agree with her.
Well, we said that then. That game, you should have beat the Lions that game. That tie is going to hurt
Can you
you.
scroll back up, Sean? I want to see who the rest of the seating was.
Yeah.
That tie definitely hurt the Steelers, I think. No doubt.
No, but shout out to Ash because she says this. I mean, she says, "Look, the Steelers have a chance at the 1 seed, but that just shows how close it is. They're
Right.
only 2 or 3 games out of this thing, and honestly,
Right, I don't.
you went out. Obviously, you need help, but that just shows how close the AFC is.
But it also shows how mediocre these teams have been this season. Because the AFC has been pretty much wide open.
Yeah, I can see
They're
that.
beating up each other.
Both?
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, you're right.
So both?
It can be both. Yes,
But I think though, I do think it'll be New England. Kansas City, New England,
No.
Indy, Los Angeles, top 4 seeds guaranteed.
Wait a minute. Kansas City, New England. Oh, Chargers, and then who else?
The Colts.
Top 4 seeds? Oh, well.
I love that soundbite.
Here we go, man.
Oh my god. Oh man.
Look, it could go either way.
I don't know. I feel like at this point I think that the 7th seed might go to Pittsburgh just by sheer grit. But we'll see.
We'll see for sure. I don't know.
It's tough.
All right, Nick.
That'd
I'm
be a
glad
tough
you're
one,
back.
kid. Me too. Sorry about that. I had to regroup.
Well, he's back. This man has been either winning you or losing you money all year
I've
long.
lost everybody cash, right?
But he is here for you, or they've seen which picks you pick and they've gone opposite.
Exactly.
Still, you're only 50-50 because you win half the time.
That's
My
pretty
guy,
much true.
Nicholas Lazario with the picks in the holiday season.
Yeah, that's right. Merry Christmas, boys and girls. Here's Uncle Nicky to give you another week of his insanity. But again, I picked another 4 games for this week. I have my little parlay card here, so we're going to go over this really quickly. I did miss you last week, but the total from the week before, again, was, you guessed it, 2-2.
There we go.
So that went to 25 and 31 for the season. So we'll see what happens this week. I didn't put in last week. I apologize again for missing. Dealing with some COVID stuff. I had to take a test and all that. So I'm good, negative. But okay, here we go. First game up on the docket. Rams at Minnesota. The Rams are giving up 3 points in a game which I think they will win by more than 3 points. So I am taking the Rams on the road at Minnesota, minus 3 points.
Minnesota.
Boys and girls, yes. Okay, here we go. This is what I say I never do, and I'm doing it. Because why? Because it's Christmas and I have no sense. But Seattle obviously is playing Chicago this week. Did you know that the Bears are getting 7 points?
Oh, wow.
Really? I am intrigued, and I'll tell you why. Not because I think the Bears are phenomenal by any stretch of the imagination, but Russell Wilson has struggled mightily in his return with the finger injury since he's been back. He really has. You want to know how I know that? He's on my fantasy team, and I've seen his production. Now, the one thing the Bears have going for them is their defense has actually been playing fairly well. It's our offense that sputters. So I am going to go out on a limb this week and take my beloved Bears plus 7 against Seattle. So that's game number 2, Chicago plus 7. Now, game number 3. As we all know, and as we all have been aware of, the Saints blanked Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this past week.
Yes, sir.
And as much as people will make a big deal out of that, this is Tom Brady we're dealing with, people.
And Wendy.
He's gonna brush that aside and probably come out this week and tear apart that Carolina defense, which is no good, and just decimate them as best as he can. Now Tampa Bay is minus 11, but I'm gonna take Tampa and minus 11, thinking that Tom Brady's gonna come back and blow out Carolina. So I will take Tampa Bay minus 11 points. That's game number 3, boys and girls. Game number 4. Now here's one. Okay. This is the one where you might think Uncle Nicky drank too much eggnog this week. And you'd be right, boys and girls. That's right. It's the holiday season. The coquito's flowing. I can't tell you, sometimes mistakes are made. Delilah knows what I'm talking about. There's a game, an interesting game, with a guy with long hair who cried all summer about his team and his position and all this other stuff. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's that Aaron Rodgers guy in Green Bay, right? They're at home, of course. Everybody knows Lambeau Field. Against the Cleveland Browns. Now, here's the thing. Okay. The one thing, again, that Cleveland has going for them is their defense. I understand. I do understand. The offense is always in flux because you never know, the quarterback situation, this, that, and the other. But, again, Uncle Nicky's been hitting the punch a little too hard, so I'm going to go with this one. And, again, Cleveland is getting 7 points in this game. And I just have a feeling that Cleveland, fighting for their playoff lives, are going to take it to my man, Aaron Rodgers. Because, as you know, he is one of my favorite players of all time. So I'm going to take Cleveland plus 7. And does that make me crazy of the week? And we're going to go with that. So, again, to recap for you boys and girls this week, we had Chicago in Seattle. Chicago getting 7 points. I'm taking Chicago plus 7. Rams in Minnesota. The Rams are giving up 3. I'm going to take the Rams minus 3. Tampa giving up 11 points to that lowly Carolina defense. I will take Tampa minus 11 in that game. And then in my final game, I will take Cleveland plus 7 against those Green Bay Packers. So thank you for listening to my rantings and ravings for another week. I wish you all a happy holiday season, Merry Christmas, and all that fun stuff. And see me at the bar, and we'll do shots of Coquito and probably rip my card up by the second game. So thank you all for listening, and have a great week.
And Feliz Navidad.
That's right. Prospero año y felicidad.
Oh,
there you go. All right.
Here we go.
That's that, my friends.
Oh, man. So, hey, we are close to the end of the show. Thank you for Nick's picks. And we are going to go ahead and go to one of the favorite segments of the show.
Oh, there's a favorite segment. Hey.
One last word. Yeah, buddy. One last word. We just kind of say what's on our mind. And Nick, since you're sitting here offering Caquito shots and giving people, taking money and giving money, what you got?
That's right, baby. Okay. No. Again, very simply, my last word this week is family. My family has been put to the test the last few weeks with the COVID scare. Everybody, we've all been tested. My sister and my niece got it. Then once they tested negative, my other niece got it, so she tested positive. I had a negative test come out last week because I had been exposed. My aunt was actually in the hospital for COVID pneumonia. She just got out a few days ago. My little cousin Missy caught it, obviously, from my aunt. So her and her sister both had COVID. So everybody, it really hit my family hard the last few weeks. But we've all managed to work through it. We're all working through it. We're all doing the best we can. And again, in this season kind of giving and of, the spirit of the season of Christmas and what it all means, family is very important. And so I just want to say, for all of your families, for all of you out there, from me and mine, I really hope you have a tremendous holiday. I hope that you are able, if you can't be with the ones you love, that at least you guys are in contact, you're communicating, you're able to talk and just feel the warmth and the love. Because again, the one thing I've always said, and I know people laugh sometimes when I say this, is I always feel like God lets us pick our friends because he didn't let us pick our family. So they are the people that are best in your life. They're the people you were better or worse that you are stuck with. They're your family. You love them regardless. And I just think that in this season, especially with everything that's going on in the world, you want to cling to your family at this time. So thank you all. I mean, seriously, I hope you all have a wonderful holiday. God bless all of you. Merry Christmas, and have a phenomenal few days. And hopefully, good Lord willing, we'll all see you back here next week to talk about it. So thank you very much.
Here we go. Delilah, what you got?
Yeah, all I wanted to say is just happy holidays, everybody. Today is Festivus. I don't know if you guys know Festivus. Okay, any Seinfeld fans? Festivus for the rest of us.
Hey, wait, we didn't air our grievances.
We got to air our grievances. No, anyway, no.
First day of Festivus, you air your grievances, right?
No, but I just wanted to say, honestly, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, right? And I just, peace on earth, goodwill to men, right? It's been tough because I know a lot of people who, again, like we just talked about, can't gather this season because either some, people they know have COVID, and so I have a lot of friends and family who are going to be spending, either Christmas by themselves or, just kind of, over Zoom because of this virus. And so a lot of people, and then, every year we know people are alone on Christmas. Actually, it's kind of sad. But with this, it's even more people now being isolated. They can't go home for Christmas. So if you're going home for Christmas or you're around people for Christmas, be grateful for that because it really is a blessing, guys. It is a blessing. Sure. If you have somewhere warm to go to, if you have somewhere to be, regardless if it's friends or family, because sometimes your friends are your family, right? Sometimes,
right, exactly.
There are people who don't come from good families, right? And they form their own, right, with their friends, and they build their own family, and that's who they usually spend their holidays with. And so all I want to say is just, if you're going home for Christmas or people are coming to you and you guys are able to gather, just be grateful. Blessings to you all. And for all of you that have to stay home this holiday season for whatever reason, do what you can to stay positive. Call somebody, FaceTime somebody. There's so many ways in which you can connect to somebody else so you're not spending the holidays completely isolated and alone. So please reach out. Whoever your person is, reach out to them. Don't be alone this Christmas just if you can't go home. Okay, guys?
Festivus for the rest of us. And R.I.P. Jerry Stiller, man. I didn't get into him as much on Seinfeld, but I got into him more in the later years when he was on King of Queens.
He's hilarious.
I love
Yeah,
Jerry.
he's so funny.
I still
Yeah.
watch that show, man. I
King of
absolutely.
Queens.
He's
I mean, I have
on-
a crush on Leah Remini. Let's just throw that out there. But
Yeah.
Well, who
if you
didn't?
listen, babe.
Who didn't?
Yeah, honestly, Nate, what you got, man?
Same thing around what Nick said. Reflection. I think with these last couple years, it's been rough. It's been rough on us as individuals, families.
Yeah.
Let's take this opportunity in this season to reflect on what God has done for us, the blessings that He has given us as individuals. Again, like COVID has shown a lot, and it's tested a lot of patience.
Very true.
Yes, sir.
We lost loved ones. We've seen. It's amazing to see. The testament of humanity. But when I say reflection, just reflect on like what God has done for us, and we all have to do our part. We're all put on this earth to do some good. Let's just continue to thank God for the blessings that He's given us. That we're allowed to see another day. Life is precious, and like we got to make every moment of it as fun as possible. Seriously, because it's just craziness out here with the violence, and that I hate seeing it, and I pray for better days. So in this season, reflect.
I like that. And shout out to my guy Big Nate, the host of Big Nate Talk podcast. Who I gotta shout you out around the Christmas season because man, I've really seen you blossom, and I've had a front row seat to everything that you've been doing, man. And just you are dominating the game. You are killing it, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You guys too.
Keep up. Hey, we gonna be here, man. Because if nobody else wants to hear us talk, we want to hear ourselves talk. So
the only thing I'm killing is that ham on. The only thing I'm killing is that ham on Christmas Day, my friend. I'm killing that. How about that? That's right, baby. Kill them.
Excited.
Do you slice it as already pre-sliced?
Oh no, you gotta slice that bad boy real now. Oh man, don't even get me started. Then the next day for breakfast, you throw that in a pan the next day for breakfast with some scrambled eggs and phenomenal.
I like it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Ham is a beautiful creation. I don't care how salty it is.
Amen to that. I'm with you on that one. Shoot.
I'm telling you.
Somebody said you have the wrong team on.
We got the wrong team on.
Me?
We won 2 games. We won 2 games, baby. This is it.
I'm telling you.
His fiance's a Lions fan. Does no one know that?
I just really know who
Come on now. I'm gonna rock that.
No one knows
confidence in them right now than my team. But look,
I
piggyback on everything y'all said, man. Hey, Christmas is right around the corner, and I know I've been one to say that it really has not been that like Christmassy for me, just because COVID threw me off because everything was going on. COVID really threw me off. Right now, I was able to go back to work, and then by chance I was in the same area with somebody that had COVID, and even though it was a chance encounter because of contact tracing and a lot of this and that, now I have to get a test. I got to get a negative test before I can go back to work, and I haven't been working all week, and it's just kind of like it's very stressful this whole thing. You know what I mean? But I understand because you're taking precautions, especially in working. Huh? Well, yeah, because in the field I work in, I work with people that have mental disabilities. Right. So I have to be extra. I have to make sure that I'm 100%. So it's just it stinks, but at the same time, these are the protocols and things that we need to follow. Yes, I agree. Those that have gone to school all these years and have sat here and dedicated their life to this. Yes, I'm going to listen to what they have to say. I need to make sure that I get. It is elementary, but hey, whatever. We all make everything complicated. That's what humans are here for.
That's what we do, right? That's what we do.
At the end of the day, hey, I piggyback everything you guys said. Hey, family. Calling, even if it's just a call, even if it's just a video, even if it's anything. when I was out
Yeah,
for COVID and I
say
couldn't visit
hello.
my family for Thanksgiving, just us FaceTiming was a big deal to me. And the funny thing is, it didn't happen until later in the day. And as somebody that goes to your family, Delilah, I'm sure you can.
Oh, yeah.
All you guys can agree. You know that Ax, you get there early, you watch the parade, you start helping mom in the kitchen, you talk to them, all the little things,
Sure.
and then when you're not there, it's kind of like, dang, I know this would be happening right now. Oh, we would be sitting in front of the couch on the couch watching the college pro game. You know what I mean?
Sure,
Those type
sure.
of things. It really hits home. But it also makes you realize for most people that, hey, I need to focus on make sure I'm safe, make sure those around me are taken care of, because you never want anybody to go through this. It's rough. It's rough, man.
It's definitely
for
rough.
sure.
I'm with you on
Prayers
that
to your
one.
family, Nick. Prayers to all your families and everything. But at the end of the day, hey, it is a holiday season, and this might be our junior year, of COVID.
Right.
But made it through though. There's millions of people that cannot stay. They can't make that claim.
Right.
And there's
That's
hundreds of
true.
thusand more that are dealing with it right now that can't. You know what I mean? That don't have the luxury of being like, I get to see my
For
family.
sure.
Like what you guys were saying. So
Yeah.
we got to be wary of that, and we also have to just be sensitive to to other people and the things that they got going on. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like
For sure.
Kat and I kind of got into it last couple, about a week or so ago. And then but when I sat back and thought about it, it was kind of like she's trying to get everything together for her family. She, because of having COVID and being around me, having COVID and her being around me, she wasn't able to see her family for Thanksgiving. So
Right.
now she has to double up and do all this and presents and this stuff. So it just, this affects more than just us.
Right.
Sure.
Period. Like,
Sure.
and
I
we got to
got you.
start. I think we got to start doing what we always are supposed to do. Is the golden rule: treat others the way you want them to treat you. If you're,
Absolutely.
if I'm sick, I'm not going to come around you and go, even if I have a cold,
Right.
and I would
Right,
want the same for you to me. So have that respect, for the people. Hey, if you're not, wear the mask, do whatever you need to do. But
What you gotta do, man?
we got to get back to being around our family and friends, because this stuff is messing with people.
I agree. I got my booster yesterday.
Yeah,
So
Kat just got hers. She just got hers.
I
I still gotta wait for mine. I think I got like a couple months.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
'Cause you
do
gotta
you?
wait. Yeah. Because you gotta,
I have
depending
to
when you
go
got your
figure out where I got to
second,
go get mine. Yeah.
depending when you got your second dose, you have to wait like a certain amount of time before you
My
can get your
second dose was
booster.
April 19th. I think I've waited long.
Oh, then you're good. Yeah, you're good.
You should be good with that.
Yeah, you're good.
I should be able to
Cause
get it.
yeah. Yeah, because I got mine in
Yeah.
April, and that's why I was able to get mine again, my third one. So,
Yeah.
but I agree
think
with you,
Walgreens is
Sean.
doing them. You can walk in.
That's where. Well, you can make an appointment. You can't walk in. That's where I got mine.
Okay.
But it's filling up, because I've been trying to get out here and get. There used to be places where you can go just get a drive-up test. Now nothing is without appointment. You have to have an appointment around here, and especially with the holiday season, everybody's trying to travel, so everybody's trying to get a test and everything like that. And I'm like, look, I'm just trying to go back to work, earn a living.
Right.
Right.
I'm not trying to sit at home.
Right.
So
I get it.
It's stressful. It's definitely stressful. But hey, just even with that, like even with the healthcare workers, even with the people doing the COVID test, even with that, hey, just be patient. With the delivery truck drivers and the people in the grocery stores that have to stay late to do this stuff. Be patient. Be cool with these guys, because they still have to go home to their families after they take care of you and service whatever you guys got going on. So, hey,
exactly.
and Merry Christmas, man, from Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable. Yeah,
that's right.
So there it is. Hey, look. So hey,
All right.
you know who it is? Your guy, Sean Spencer. My guy, Mr. Late Night himself, Mr. Nathan Snell.
Mr.
Yes, sir.
Late Night.
The
Late
host of
Night
Diversity
Nate.
with Delilah Crespo.
Woo, thank you. Oh, you too, Wendy. Thank you. You have a safe and Merry Christmas too. That's what I've been doing.
Hey, and my guy, Mr. Big Nick.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, from our families to yours, we just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas, and we will. I'm pretty sure we'll see you next week. I think. Well, I mean, I'm staying at home, so I can't really go anywhere. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Sure. Next week, we'll work it out.
For sure.
All right, guys.
All right, guys.
We'll work it out.
Later. Merry Christmas.
All right, bye.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.
Back.
We are back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The line. Here. The line. New man looking so fine. Kirk Cousins.
All right.